Hey guys, if you want to know how I'm going to make this into this guy, then stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to NORDIC D&D, the Nerd Hangout. In this episode we're going to the Forge. We're going to craft terrain for Dungeons and Dragons, and this time we're going to craft a dragon turtle out of this Easter half egg. Let's go guys.
There you are. It is time to bend the steel. Welcome to the Forge.
Okay guys, the first thing I want to do is cut some shapes on this one.
Yeah, I did say that I'm gonna cut them, but first I'm going to draw them out so I know where to cut and how it looks. And by the way, yes, I am narrating myself. It helps me better explain because I'm not that good at multitasking.
I'm just lining out the shell, which I am going to cut out later on.
Yeah, what I'm doing right now, guys, is that I'm drawing all around to get the shapes that I want and across. I did Google turtle shell to get the markings and to be inspired by it.
This is just roughly made, guys. I'm gonna make it more even as I go.
So after I'm finished drawing the shape of the shell, I'm taking this scalpel, this hoppy scalpel, and cut, not too deep cut into it, so the markings will be clear when I paint it. Afterwards, when I've done that, I'm actually taking a pencil and pushing the cut open so it gets wide, so you can see it more clear. It actually is very effective.
Don't you just love it when you're making a YouTube channel or you're recording anything and that you spend about 10 minutes and then you find out you didn't press record? Anyways, sorry about that guys. After the markings on the shell, I did something called the DM Scotty method, where I take toilet paper and this spray bottle of water, and then I use this mixture of PVA glue, skolelig 50% glue and 50% water, and then I take some TP, toilet paper, and I put it on the shell like this, layer on layer on layer, and then I spray the water on it so it gets sticky and thin, and then I put this mixture, shake it very good, put this mixture on it, and then you'll see that the shell does not have this soft texture, which I didn't like. I really like this instead. It's basically just paper mache, and it gets a little rougher look on it. So when I'm doing this, I will have to wait until it dries up, which can take a couple of days. But in the meantime, this dragon needs a head, so I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to use this Easter egg. I think that's going to look nice. Yeah. I hate doing eyes. I think it's always very hard to do the eyes because...
Okay, stop. Is anybody else falling asleep to this damn music? Or just want to pee terribly? I'm gonna change that shit out. Yeah. That's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. I can roll with this.
I'm gonna use this tool, which uses electricity to heat up the metal or the wire inside, which will make it easy for me to cut the flamingo. I want the head to come out of the water like this. I want it to be even here.
Yes, so the electricity heats up the copper wire,
Like
so it cuts
like
or
this.
burns through the flamingo very easily. It is very effective.
Oh, these eyes are gonna kill me. And then I want to make a mouth. Okay, now it looks kind of funny because you can see some eyes.
Oh, look at that smile. She is beautiful. Very good, Johnny.
But I'm gonna put texture on this as well, put some teeth on it. I think it's gonna be good. Turn this off. Show you what I mean. Basically, it's gonna be like this. The shell is gonna come out of the water. I'm gonna put a difference here, so there's gonna be like it's coming out of the water, and when it dries, and the same is going for the head. I'm gonna put some PVA glue on this one as well, get some texture on it. It's gonna be like there's water all around it, and you can just see the shell and the head poking out of the water from the dragon.
Okay guys, here I get a second chance to show you what I mean. DM Scotty method. Now be sure to check out DM Scotty. He has a YouTube channel as well. He is awesome. I'll send a link down below in the descriptions. I have learned so much from his channel about crafting Dungeons and Dragons terrain and stuff like this. Anyway, I am putting toilet paper around the head and spraying the water on it to make it soft so I can form it around. Pushing it in all the cracks and stuff like this. That's what I'm doing right now. As you can see, trying to fit it into the mouth. And putting a little bit more paper on it and spraying it again with water. Now I'm doing this all before I'm putting the PVA glue on it. I'm doing that last. So this is just water spraying on it. Makes it soft and very easy to manipulate and move around. Pushing it as tightly as I can around the head. I then take a toothpick to push the lips inside the mouth all the way down, and then I can form the paper a little bit so it has some shape. Then I just take some pieces of paper to finish the gaps so I get it all everywhere. This is basically what I did with the shell as well, all around it. And here comes the PVA glue. Remember, it's 50% water, 50% glue, and you just shake it very good and pour it around the head everywhere around it. And it dries up just like paper mache. It gives it very nice texture and it hardens it as well. There we go.
Yeah, so now I'm just gonna have to wait until the PVA and water dries. Hey guys, now it seems like the paper mache or the paper and glue has dried, so we're gonna continue.
Yeah, so one thing to notice may be that, of course, if I put the paper mache on after cutting the marks, they will cover up again. So I again take the knife and cut the marks new through the paper mache, but since I did it before, it's very easy to do and the marking is already there, so it's still a good idea. And again, use the pencil to widen the gaps, so it's nice.
I want them, of course, to be a little bit more like this. I think I want to put some markings on its head that looks kind of like this, but I want to make it out of something else.
Yeah, what I mean is when I say markings, I mean the texture of the shell. I want it to look like the shell is also on its head a little bit. Not completely like a helmet, that would be just stupid, but like it's parts of the shell on its neck, on top of his head. Also, I think that is a cool image. Now, this is my first crafting video, so I can see many things that I want to do differently next time. Like show you the tools, show you more specifically what I mean, and just get better views. But doing is learning, guys. By the way, I didn't like the result of the head at all afterwards, but you'll see what I mean. Ugh. Like this, for example. It would be nice if I kind of showed to the camera exactly what I'm doing. I am using the glue gun to glue the pieces that I cut out of the cardboard that looked like scales of the shell that's on its head, and removing some of the extra glue strings. Now you gotta hold it tight until it sticks. After doing the teeth, I actually took a plastic fork and where I break off the teeth of the fork and use it like horns. Now you can't see it so well on the head, but I think it will be a lot clearer when I do it on the shell. I want it to look like there are like these big teeth looking horns coming out of it everywhere to make it look more dragon-like. Anyway, I now have moved over to the shell and I am cutting again the edges of toothpicks because I want the smallest pieces of the horns to go all around the shell, and then some larger ones on the top of its back, which I'll make out of the plastic forks. So then I glue it on with my glue gun. Now the glue gun tends to just heat the glue more and more, and at the point it gets so hot that I have to blow some cold air on it to get the fork pieces to stay, so it kind of hardens so it doesn't fall down. So the question is, how many of the big needles should I put on? It doesn't seem too much. Yeah, just pulling off the extra glue, that the strings that hang from the gun afterwards when you put it on, clean it up. Now I'm going to cover the bottom, so I'm just going to take this cardboard, see if it fits, some leftovers I have laying around. Yeah, it fits perfect. Then I put these weights on, so it has some weight to it, and glue them on with my gun. Same goes for the head. And maybe it looks odd for you to see it separate, two bottoms, but it's gonna make sense in the end. Glue another weight on it and put the head on top of it. It'll be much easier to handle on D&D game. And now we move over to the shell to get it nice and stick to the cardboard with the glue gun. Now I have to keep some pressure on it when I do this because I want it to fit and I don't want it to be too broad. That's why I'm holding it tight as the glue hardens, and it doesn't take that long, so that's very fortunate with using a glue gun. Hold on, Johnny boy. And as soon as it's stuck, so it's time to cut it out of the cardboard to the desired size. Then I'm going to base coat the head with this Mod Podge. It's an excellent sealer for the flamingo so it doesn't melt and it keeps it nice and sealed. I add black paint to it as well so it has that base color, which is very nice after painting it, so it's dark in all the cracks. After sealing it everywhere, it looks kind of nice.
Right. We're gonna have to go outside to actually spray paint it to get a base coat on it. Let's go.
You strong.
Now after spray painting, I cut it out of the cardboard. Now I choose to keep it on the cardboard as I painted it just to so it's easier to handle and so it doesn't get paint all over my hand, although I do have gloves on. It just made it easier. So I cut it out now. Here again I take the toothpick to like scrape the lines of the markings of the shell so you can see it more clearly and so the paint doesn't get too thick inside of it. It just makes it a lot easier to see. Now I'm getting ready to make the bottom of it with the DM Scotty method again, making the paper mache out of TP and the 50-50 water and glue. I spray it with water, spray around it, then I fold the paper, the TP around it so it will look like waves of water coming around it as it emerges from the water. Push it in, spray the water back on to get it nice and wet. This is all before using the PVA glue. And then I take it and shake it very good to get the glue and the water to mix. And then just pour around it. Now both the head and the shell are laying on baking paper right now, so when the glue hardens it doesn't stick to it at all. That's a good idea to remember. Just pour it all around and then shape it with your finger. Push it the way you want it. It's very easy to handle and manipulate after the glue gets on it. And then the same procedure exactly with the head. Again, I just have to wait until the paper mache dries. Coffee. Nice. Well, it's ready to paint. Now I'm basting it with a green color that I've mixed with some brownish inside and 2 kinds of green. Get a nice base coat on it all around, just keeping it thin and wet so it gets everywhere. It's just the first layer anyway. Yes, and then over to the shell. Same procedure. Now you can go and mix around with the colors depending on what you like, because I looked at different kinds of pictures and it seems like the shells varied a lot from brown to green to dark green to light green, so it's all up to you guys. After painting the shell with its base coat, we're going to paint the base coat on the water around the shell and around the head, which I'm doing with a dark blue here. Also keeping it wet. I will dry paint over everything later on anyway. Starting with the head. Damn, John. You must have had a lot of coffee when you're doing that. Shit, look at him go. Okay, easy now, calm down. Whew, very stressful. That's better. Now we're going to dry paint with the brown, so I get this darker mixture of the green and brown for the shell. I kinda like that. Okay, another mistake that I've done here, I haven't shown you the paintings, what the paint is called. I promise next time I'll do all that, guys. This is very new to me. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make it a lot better, okay? I kind of changed the method here a little bit because the brown wasn't that clear on the green, so I stopped dry painting and put a little more paint on it, so it was a little bit more rough, not so much dry painting. So you can see the brown a little bit clearer, a little bit more paint on it. You'll see it at the end result how it looks. Because when you dry paint, you have as little paint on as possible, but I will dry paint it later with a lighter brown. Now we're painting the ivory or the horns coming out of the shell with white. Now I painted the bottom of the horns yellow, so it looks a little bit decayed, and then I'm gonna dry brush it with a little sand color afterwards, so it looks more authentic. As you see here, now I'm dry brushing very lightly with this sand color, I think it's called. Yes, and I think I am finished now, guys. As you see, I am considering... Does it need any more? No, I kinda like it. Let's just stop right there.
Guys, I guess this was it. This was how I created this half egg into my very own dragon turtle. Now I must say I am very unhappy with the head. I think my ability of crafting and molding kind of falls short when it comes to the face, when it comes to the eyes. So that is just an area that I have to improve and work more on to get a better result. But compared to the shell, this dragon turtle, of course this is my own take of a dragon turtle, an exact replica of the picture and monster manual, but I think it's kind of cool. But anyway guys, hope you maybe picked up some tricks or liked the build. There's gonna be more to come. And this was just this for this episode, guys. See you next week, nerds. Bye.